What's up guys, I'm James and welcome to BootWizard Boot Reviews. And yes, I am hiding behind a giant box, not because there's a spider the other side and I am terrified, but because this is the size of the box that is needed so that Adidas can get the brand new Predator 20 Plus to your house. So today we're going to unbox this, we're going to take a look at the brand new Uniforia Pack colorway, see what we think, and see if it would have been a worthy boot for Euro 2020, which is sadly no longer happening, but the boots are here anyway, and as boot heads, that's what we're here for. Let's crack it open. I feel like I should be obliged to tell you to use scissors responsibly or something like that.
So yeah, don't run with scissors, I suppose.
So all the brand new Predator 20 Plus models come in this phenomenal box. If I can get it out. Oh god, oh god. Don't want that, don't want that. In this phenomenal box. So this wasn't just for the launch colorway. Every single Predator 20 Plus comes in this box, which if I flip over here to the other camera, you can see as I open this, the boots raise up out of the box, and Adidas have been killing it recently with their presentation, with things like the Dragon boots coming in that egg-shaped box. It's incredible. Adidas presentation, 10 points at the moment. 10 out of 10. So these have already come in the string bag here, so we're just going to get that out. And you know what? I am absolutely delighted. I didn't realize this when I bought these boots, but the string bag, while being the standard mesh and the standard Predator string bag, it is white and red and it matches the boots. Adidas have actually taken a step to giving us custom string bags that match the boot, which is something Nike have been doing forever. But I am very pleased with that. It's a welcome little change, and a welcome addition is that little switch to the Predator white and red on this string bag. So I'm going to be totally honest, when I first saw the images for the Predator for the Uniforia Pack, I wasn't that impressed. I didn't really love the looks, but as some of the press pictures come out, I was like, okay, maybe it's alright. In hand, these are fantastic. The way that the whole brush stroke effect has worked around the boot, and it's like every little element of the demon skin has been kind of paint splattered. And again, like I said about the box and the bag, some really nice attention to detail off that white base in the prime knit. It really shows up nicely, and we'll get to it in a second, but this sole plate looks phenomenal. As I mentioned earlier, the Uniforia Pack colorway was supposed to be the Euro 2020 colorway. And with Euro 2020 not happening, we've got the boots, but no tournament. So if you're familiar with the Uniforia ball that came out, this has much of the same design. It's a white base with a brush stroke type effect that runs around. And this particular boot is like a neon yellow and a neon pink, almost like a neon crimson type color. Honestly, the colors it reminds me of are Nike colors. It reminds me of Hyper Crimson and Volt. So if you're aware of what they are, you'll kind of get where I'm coming from. But the whole idea here, supposedly, according to Adidas, is that it is a white canvas, and then the brush strokes are to represent the way that artists paint on canvas and create works of art. So that obviously would apply to the biggest players on the grandest stages during Euro 2020. Not happening anymore, so it's kind of been spun a little bit and it's more about you and me getting back out on the pitch and creating masterpieces, painting with our feet, white canvases, and brush strokes all around the boot. Now, if you've got the talent to create magic, to be a Da Vinci, to be one of the Italian masters with your feet, these boots could very much be for you because they are bright, they are in your face, and people are going to notice you. Speaking of people noticing you, of course, we have to discuss the design. So this is the 20 Plus, which is the laceless mid-cut model of the Predator. And I've already done a full review of this boot. So if you want to check that out, you can click up in the corner of the screen. That'll take you through to my initial review of this, which I did on the original release variant, which looks a lot like this. This is the 20.1 low, which from a looks perspective is definitely my favorite of them, probably from a performance perspective as well. But these certainly catch the eye. So it's got that big mid-cut collar that runs around into the prime knit, so it's actually a different material to the 20.1. And then down the back here, this looks so clean, just this pure white back area. This is a good job. This is a summer boot and not a winter boot. And then that goes into an iridescent, almost pearlescent type finish in the rear stud housing, which looks beautiful. And then that transitions, you obviously get the split sole design, and then you see these paint strokes starting to come in around the midfoot and the forefoot of the boot and over this whole front stud housing. It looks fantastic. Like, they've done such a good job with executing the design details on this. Now, whether you like the design of the boot or not, the colorway and things, that's your own personal preference, but I think the actual execution of this is excellent. It's kind of similar to the way that we talk about this giant mid-cut collar that comes a long way up your feet. Whether you like it or not, completely personal preference, but in execution, for a very bold, in-your-face look, it absolutely delivers. I've said it before, details, 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 and the insole even has the white base with the paint stroke effect on it, which is just a really nice little attention to detail and something that, along with the string bag and the way that each individual spike is different, I think makes this a really well put together pack, as you would expect for a major European tournament. I will run down some of the finer tech elements in the Predator 20 Plus for you in case you're wanting to buy them and you don't want to check out the full review. So it's a prime knit base with no laces. So it's completely laceless, which means that fit-wise, if these fit your feet well, then you've got a great boot on your hands. And this extra collar area does not get in the way at all. However, if the boot kind of doesn't fit your feet right out the box, if it feels a bit weird or you don't feel like you've got enough stability and lockdown, then it's probably not going to be for you in the long run. But with regards to the lockdown, laceless boots have come a long way recently and the lockdown is far better than it used to be. And this is not too bad. It's definitely an improvement. Adidas are moving in the right way, but I still prefer a set of laces. Something I didn't cover in the original review because I physically hadn't worn the boots for long enough to be able to give you an answer, but a question that I get asked a lot now: will the demon skin spikes fall off? And simply, the answer is no. The way these demon skin spikes are attached is that they're all connected to each other in a layer underneath the prime knit. So they're not just going to fall off because they're not individually stuck onto the outside of this boot. There's a structure involved. However, when talking about my launch colorway pair, I can say that the spikes definitely wear down, and more so on the plus level model than they do on the 0.1 models. And the reason for that is because the demon skin is different between these two boots. It's far more aggressive on this 20 Plus. It's pointing forwards, they move to a bit of a thinner point, and it also means that the dip, the bend, the swerve, or the additional feeling you get from this demon skin is way more pronounced on this 20 plus. So if you're unsure whether you're gonna like this striking element style coverage across the boot, the 20 plus is the most extreme version. I personally prefer the 20.1 layout, which is just a little bit less extreme. They don't come to quite as much of a point, and they stick more upwards than forwards. It's a little bit more refined and a little bit less crazy. But when you've got a boot that looks like this, crazy I suppose is where you're aiming for.
ISO, Indies, yeah, live free, speak.
Talking about the fit, yes, these are fairly difficult to get on because they've got a high cut collar, there's no laces, it's a one-piece upper, so it's going to be a little bit more effort than your regular pair of boots, but it's not impossible, and I definitely own boots that are more difficult to get on than this one. In sizing terms, pretty much across the entire Predator 20 range, I have gone down half a size. So this is a UK 7.5 instead of my normal UK 8, and I find that that fits me much better than my UK 8. There's less room in the toe box, and the midfoot just fits a little bit nicer, and I get a bit better lockdown because the boot is simply a bit tighter. So that is my recommendation, is to go down half a size across the Predator range. And the fit issues that I've discussed on multiple occasions with regards to the 20.1 low and especially the 20.1 mid aren't as prevalent in this 20 plus, and in actual fact this one doesn't fit me too badly at all. Although with that said, this is a boot where I suggest you check your sizing carefully and you give it time to break in. I wouldn't take this boot straight out into a game. Break it in slowly, otherwise you might have a few issues. It'll get there eventually, it just needs a little bit of time. The split sole does come with a brand new anatomical sole plate, so do be aware that it does kind of suck up into your arch a little bit, and it might take you a little while to get used to that, but you will get used to it, and it's not a deal breaker by any means. If you do want to see a full tech spec review of this boot, then click up in the corner. That'll take you through to my original review where I break down all the tiny little elements of this boot. Or by all means, just ask me a question down in the comments. I will be happy to answer it. Also, remember to hit the like button. Let me know what you think of this Predator 20 Plus Uniforia pack down in the comments. And of course, get subscribed. This week is huge for BootWizard. I have match-worn custom Alexis Sanchez Vapors on the channel on Friday. And before that, I've got the Nike Neighborhood pack. Not just one boot, I have the pack. That's all from BootWizard here today. I hope you've enjoyed it. Have a good one, and we'll see you soon.